911 location of your emergency.
Something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
What is the rest of the address?
Oh, Kings Road.
Okay. And is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right?
I'll talk to you guys. We live at the White, so we're next to them.
I need someone to repeat the address for verification.
The address, 1122 King Road.
And what's the phone number that you're calling from?
What's your phone number?
And tell me exactly what's going on.
One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night, and she's not waking up.
Okay.
Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi,
and are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop passing it around.
Can I just tell you what happened pretty much?
What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?
I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out?
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, but we gotta go check. But we have to. Is she passed out? She's not waking up.
Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
Okay, thank you. What's wrong?
Okay, and how old is she?
She's 20.
20, you said?
Yes, 20 here. 20.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
You talk to them, okay? I can't talk to them. I need you to talk to them.
Okay. Hello.
Okay. I've already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
Say that again? There's a police here right now.
Okay. If there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
We don't have one. I think yes. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, we have one.
Are you talking to the officer?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you.
Okay.
On the morning of November 13th, 2022, a 911 call was made from a quiet, off-campus student house near the University of Idaho in Moscow, Idaho. The caller reported an unconscious person inside the home on King Road. But when police arrived at the scene, they discovered something far more horrifying. Inside the house, 4 university students had been brutally murdered sometime during the early hours of the morning. The victims were 21-year-old Kaylee Goncalves, 21-year-old Madison Mogen, 20-year-old Xana Kernodle, and 20-year-old Ethan Chapin. News of the murders spread quickly across the small college town, leaving students, residents, and investigators struggling to understand how something so violent could happen in a place many considered safe. In the days that followed, the case would explode into a nationwide investigation filled with surveillance footage, digital evidence, unanswered questions, and growing fear that a killer had vanished into the darkness. We were able to obtain heavily redacted body cam footage from the moment the first officers arrived at the King Roadhouse on the morning of November 13, 2022. Portions of the footage have been blacked out or muted due to the ongoing sensitivity of the case, the graphic nature of the crime scene, and to protect the privacy of those involved. Viewer discretion is advised.
Where's she at? Yep, where's she at? Where's she at?
She's up closer. Yes.
Where at? Up here?
Up here. You got it all that someone, normal. And I just came to check in here and you can write this down. And I checked this user for you, and I didn't check them yet, but I'm pretty sure.
13. Okay, get back.
I don't know if they're still in here or not. Really just in here. I grabbed them. They're like
1370. Okay, stay back there, please. Fuck. Slow down. Just come here. There's two. Looks like fatalities. All right. Okay. Nobody's allowed to leave for now, okay? Just stay here for me, please. Do you know the... Okay. Here. Can you guys go over to the dumpster for me, please? Okay, let's clear it. Thanks for... Who's over here?
Okay.
I'll just start down here. Police department.
Police department.
Moscow Police Department, if you're in here, announce yourself. Moscow Police Department.
Clear here. Going up.
Clear.
Police department.
We're in third floor, coming up. We got another. Moscow Police Department.
Dude.
House clear?
We're clear. Let me secure the outside first.
Go to the front door.
There's the back entry. I was going to start taping it all off.
Brian's taping the outside off.
Okay.
Where's the other?
There are two right here. House is clear. I got in there. Shut the door in there. Check with the prints.
As officers arrived at the King Road house, the scene quickly shifted from a medical emergency to a homicide investigation. Police began securing the area with crime scene tape as investigators moved in and out of the home throughout the afternoon. Inside the house were two surviving roommates who had been home during the early morning hours when the murders are believed to have taken place. Detectives immediately began interviewing the survivors in an attempt to piece together the timeline of what had happened inside the house that night. As investigators searched for answers, news of the murders spread rapidly across the University of Idaho campus, leaving an entire community in shock.
Okay, let's show this one. And your first name. And your middle name. What's a good phone number to reach you? Okay. And is this your address?
Yes.
What's that address?
1122 King Road.
Is your driver's license right?
Yes.
Okay. How much have you seen in there?
No, I don't really know. I just saw my friend when I called because we were so scared. We're like, can you please come help us? And that's all I saw. He told us not to go in. That man right there. That, I'll show you around.
There did go in there.
Yeah, and that's when he told us he needed to call the cops right now.
Do you mind just waiting over there for me, please? Okay. Now I overheard you talking about last night.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to, the more we know right now, the better. We can start this process.
Yeah.
Somebody will probably be revisiting this interview with you very soon. Again, okay? So you're probably going to have to retell the story quite a bit.
That's fine.
All right. What do you remember seeing? What started?
I remember I was in my room and I was trying to go to bed and I heard Kaylee, who ex-girlfriend, who also has a dog in her.
Real fast. Which one is your room?
Kaylee.
Which one is your room?
Oh.
What room are you in? You were in that room?
My room, not Xana's room. My room.
And your room is this one right here?
Next to the stairs. That one is Xana's room.
Second floor room.
Second floor.
Okay.
All I heard was I heard her go upstairs. Like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now because she's going upstairs.
And you heard who go upstairs?
Kaylee and the dog Murphy.
And upstairs to the very top?
Yeah, that's where her room is.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden I heard her walking up, I heard her scream, and she ran downstairs because she saw someone. That's what I'm pretty sure she said. Someone's here, and she screamed and just ran downstairs. And I called for her name, but I jumped up and locked my door because I was so scared. And then I heard someone in the bathroom, and I heard her crying, and I heard some guy say that you're going to be okay, I'm going to help you. And I kept calling her name, but she wasn't answering. And then I opened the door for a second, and I saw this guy, and he was not insanely tall, but he was wearing all black and like this mask that was just covering his forehead and his mouth. And I locked the door, and I called, and I didn't know what to do.
This was at 4
a.m., yes.
Okay.
And so then I just ran down to
you left here?
Yeah, I left my room down to she's that one with the white blinds at the very bottom.
Okay.
I ran down there and we talked, and we just locked the door. We didn't think anything of it. We're like, nothing happens in Moscow, so we just like tried to go to bed. And then we woke up, and it was weird because none of our roommates were up, and we called all of them. They were not waking up, and so me and like, this is weird. So I called and to come over, and then that's when all this happened.
Who all lives here with you?
Me, that woman right there.
Okay. Who's Xana?
Xana is the girl in there.
Is the girl that lives this one?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you spell her name?
Xana.
Do you know if she has a middle name?
Alexis, I think.
Do you know what her last name is?
Kernodle. K. I don't know how to spell it really. K. You know? R-N-O-D-L.
K-A-E-R.
K-E-R.
K-E-R.
N-O.
N-O.
L-E.
D-L-E? Okay.
X-A-N-A.
X-A-N-A. Okay.
Ethan, who's in there, he doesn't actually live here, but he's here like almost all the time.
There's a male that lives here, and
he doesn't actually live here. He's in the room with Xana, I believe.
He's in there right now.
But he doesn't live here, but he's here a lot. And then there's Maddie, Mogen, and Kaylee up top. I don't know where they're at though.
Maddie
Mogen, and
Maddie
Kaylee,
Mogen.
Yeah.
And who?
Kaylee Goncalves. She's the girl that I was talking about, Kaylee, who I just heard her go upstairs and run back down the stairs.
Okay. And the guy that lives here, his name was what? He's usually here?
Ethan. Chapin.
Ethan. And you knew he was here this morning?
No, I didn't know. I had no idea he was here.
Okay. All right. Describe the guy that you saw.
I don't think he was a little bit taller than me, and I couldn't really see much of him, but I'm almost positive he was wearing a full black outfit, and he had this mask that was just over his forehead and over his mouth, and he didn't say anything to me, like at all. I just shut the door and locked it because I didn't know what to do, and I think he went out like the sliding door in the kitchen that goes out to the backyard.
Okay.
And then I didn't know anything else, so I called and I was like, I just need to come downstairs and find you because I don't know where anyone else is. And I called Maddie, I called Xana, I called Kaylee, no one would answer.
Okay. All right. For Xana, do you know how old she is?
She's 20.
Is she in a sorority house?
Yeah, not anymore.
Okay. She's a student at U of I?
Yes.
Do you have any contact information for her parents?
No,
It's okay. Well,
okay.
we can get that eventually.
Her dad's name.
And then Ethan. E-T-H-A-N.
And Chapin, C-H-A-P-I-N.
Hey, real fast. She's saying this morning around 4, there's a guy, black mask, was in there. She didn't recognize him. She heard girls screaming upstairs. She got scared, locked herself in the room, and then the screaming all stopped. She's pretty sure that this masked person went out that back. Okay. And right now I'm getting all victim information. She knows the other 2 girls are up there. I haven't told her who's deceased or anything like that. They have 4 people that are unaccounted for right now, which...
Whose dog?
Whose dog? Who owns a dog?
Kaylee. The one in the
Okay.
Tyson's on his way, and I'm personally getting.
Since she knows a bunch of the people who are all living here, I'm getting all their names, and then I'll finish collecting all their information. Okay. How old is Ethan?
I apologize. There's a door downstairs next to the bathroom that's got a padlock on or a lock on it. You guys?
We don't know.
Okay. Who has access to that room? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not something you guys normally do?
No, we have no idea what it is.
Thank you guys.
So Ethan, how old is Ethan?
I believe he just turned 20.
20. And it's Chapin, Chapin?
Yes, I believe.
Okay. Do you happen to know either of their date of birth?
No, I know knows Xana's date of birth.
Okay. No worries. And Ethan's also a U of I student?
Yes, he is.
And you don't see him here right now? You see, but pretty sure he's in that room.
I think so. I think it's what told me. I don't know for sure.
Alright, and then the two additional roommates that aren't here right now,
They're not.
that aren't here with you,
Yeah.
what are their names?
Maddie Mogen, Maddie Mogen. And then Kaylee, Kaylee Goncalves, Gonclaves. I think that's how you spell it.
How old is Maddie?
She's 21. Or 21 or 22, I can't remember. They're both over 21, but I don't know exactly.
I think so. How old is Kaylee?
Over 21, I believe she's 21 or 22. Sorry, I don't fully remember.
It's okay. You're doing great.
Thanks.
Okay. I'm asking a lot of you, so I appreciate you.
Don't say anything.
You're doing very well.
Do you know if the other two girls are upstairs or not?
Right now, what we got to do is we got to process this whole thing.
That makes sense.
I don't know what I'd be permitted to tell you
That's fine.
right
That's
now. Okay.
fine. I understand.
Okay, let's go back. I just want to make sure we're getting everything. So you're sure at about 4 this morning?
Yes, it was 4:10.
You first noticed a guy.
Well, I first noticed Kaylee go upstairs and scream and run downstairs.
So 4 this morning, went upstairs
Yeah.
to the way top.
Yes, to her room with Murphy the dog.
Okay.
And
And
then
then you heard Kaylee scream.
I heard her scream and run as fast as she could downstairs, and she said someone's here.
She ran downstairs.
Yes, I could hear. You can hear everything pretty much. I heard her run downstairs really fast, and then I heard Murphy barking a lot,
Okay.
and then I heard her going to I think it was the bathroom, and I remember her sobbing, and I just remember hearing this guy's voice that I didn't recognize saying, "You're gonna be okay, I'm gonna help you," but it wasn't like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it wasn't in like a nice way, it was like a weird way, like a weird tone.
You're gonna be okay. I'm gonna help you.
Yeah.
And you didn't hear anything from Kaylee anymore at that
No,
point?
after that I didn't hear anything. So then I kept calling for her name. I called on my phone, I called Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee. None of them answered. So then I opened up the door to look, and that's when I saw the guy pass by. He looked at me, but he didn't come towards me or say anything, which was really confusing to me. I don't understand that. And I'm pretty sure he went out the side door. And then I called and said she thought maybe there was a fire or like a firework. We didn't know. She heard this loud noise and there was a light, I guess.
Did you hear like a pop, like a bang?
I don't know. Did you hear it bang?
It's what she heard.
Okay.
That's what she heard.
Okay, never mind. You stay there. I didn't hear that.
Hey, where are you going right now?
I'm just going to pick up my phone.
Okay. Where's your friend live? To the left, please.
Yeah, I can go.
Okay.
I don't think I ever heard a bang. I didn't think anything about fire or firework
Or a
until
gunshot
I told her.
or
I don't
anything.
think I heard anything of that, but I also was kind of in and out of it because I was so scared and I was really tired. And that's when I called and I told her, I need to come to your room, because she was the only one that was answering me, so I just ran down there, and for a second I stopped, and I saw Xana passed out, and I thought maybe she was just, like, sleeping or something. I didn't think anything, because I was so out of it, and I went into the room, and we just fell asleep, and then we woke up this morning, and no one was waking up at all, like, no one was answering, which was really weird, because all of us wake up around, like, 9 or 10, and then I called, to come check, and he came here first. And I told him what happened, and then he looked in the room and he said he needed to get out and call the cops.
Okay. The guy that you saw, I know it was dark, right? Or were there lights on in the house?
I think there were lights on in the house, I believe.
Okay.
I don't really know what he looked like because he had a mask, but he wasn't, like, super tall.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'10". I think it was maybe my height an inch or two higher or lower. I can't really remember.
So about 6 foot.
I think so. Around there.
Okay. How was he built? Fat, skinny, stocky?
More like skinny, but like basketball player kind of skinny. Like not too skinny, but like almost fit skinny in a way. That's what I think. I don't know for sure.
And then the voice, he said, when he said those words, you didn't recognize that voice before.
I didn't recognize him or his voice. I mean, I also couldn't see him, but I didn't recognize that voice at all. It didn't even cross my mind if that could be.
Did you guys have a party last night too? Or?
Not tonight, but there was and we had like a formal thing beforehand. That was 2 days ago.
Okay. Is there anything that popped out about that event that was concerning?
No. I mean, I went to see because Ethan, he is with my Xana and him are dating, and Xana went there. I was there for a little bit, and then I went to my friend's house down the street, and then I came back home with my friend. Everything was fine, nothing weird at all, nothing suspicious until 4 a.m.
Okay. All right. I don't think I have any more questions for you right now.
Okay, if you do decide.
Somebody else will talk to you.
Sounds good.
So let's grab that. Let's go back over there. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so what time were you here last night?
About like 1:24 or something in the morning.
Today?
Yeah.
1:24 you got here? Okay, what was going on at about 1:24?
And my friend watching Vampire Diaries on the couch.
You and... Okay. Watching Vampire Diaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
You...
And then this is one of my friends.
Who's...
I'm sitting over there playing just up.
Oh, okay. All female?
Yes.
Alright. Okay, so you guys watching Vampire Diaries out in this main, the second level? Okay, and then for how long?
I don't know. And then Maddie and Kaylee came home from the club. And then we all hung out in Kaylee's room for a little.
So Maddie and Kaylee were at the club?
Yeah.
You know how long they were there? Probably till closing at least?
I don't know. They went to drug truck afterwards.
Grub truck. Okay. And then they came home at about what time? It's okay. You're doing great. So they did get home at 2?
Yes.
How do you know that?
I just have a picture of Kaylee's room with Murphy.
Okay. Then what happened after that?
And then me and Maddie took out Murphy, and then
Murphy's the dog?
yeah,
Okay.
and then I went inside to go to bed, and she was still taking him out. And then I was in my bed, like, about to go to sleep, and Maddie just said that she lost Murphy. Like, she was, like, and was wondering if he was with me, and I just said no. And then I went to bed.
And what time do you think you fell asleep?
Maybe 2:30.
Okay. What time did you wake up at all between 2 and...
I heard something like loud and Murphy like bark. And usually like she barks at things. And then I thought I saw like a firecracker, so I thought someone maybe was just drunk and like put a firecracker in the house. But I wasn't even really sure because I was kind of still asleep, so I wasn't sure if it was like real.
Okay. So, I'm sorry, I had listened to a couple things at a time. Loud, you thought you saw a firecracker because of a quick flash?
Yeah, through like my door, but I was like still half asleep, so I don't know if it was like real or not. I thought it was maybe a dream.
Okay. And then, did you ever like pick up your phone to see what time that was, or? Okay.
Oh, maybe I might have called and asked her what was happening, because sometimes we hear things and I'll call her and be like, oh, what was happening? She's usually just sleeping.
Okay.
Do you guys recognize all these vehicles in here?
Yeah.
What about it?
I tried to call Maddie and Ethan and Xana and all them at like 4:20.
So you called
I tried to call all of them. And
Maddie?
answering, but they,
at what time?
4:30 and 4:22. And then 4:21.
Okay.
And then Ethan at 4:22. And then Kaylee at 4:31. I thought they were supposed to be.
At 4:31?
Yeah.
So no answer, and then did you go to sleep after that?
Yeah, I just kind of fell asleep again. I was like half awake.
Okay. And then what, throughout your day, you got up at what time today?
I like woke up and my jaw was hurting really bad. I took some Advil at like 6 or 7, and then I just went back to bed. So I figured no one would be up anyways. And like, I didn't wake up until we called you guys again.
Okay. Moscow 70, could I get the time this call was generated? Copy, thank you. Alright. Do you remember seeing anybody in there that
I
wouldn't
was
belong?
downstairs the whole time with my door locked. So that's why I always think of it. So I'm scared. I didn't really hear anything either. I thought they were just being like loud and making things.
Pretty typical. Okay. Do you have any parent contact information for...
I know Maddie's.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no. I know her boyfriend.
Okay, what's Maddie's boyfriend's name?
Could you make the last name?
Is anybody having any issues with any boys?
He lives in Boise.
Okay, so he wouldn't be up here right now.
This is last name.
And then I was talking to you about the formal stuff, right?
No, that was
her. Okay, so you guys had a formal...
Some people lovers were formal yesterday.
No issues? Okay, everybody got along? Alright. And you were out here when I rolled up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I was maybe on the
Okay. So I don't know if I have any other questions for you right now. Okay. I appreciate that you did very well recalling as things become more clear. Write them down or something so you don't forget.
Okay.
Sound like a good plan? Like I said, some other people are going to be talking here. And then we'll make sure everybody has the detective's case number, or the detective's information, and so that you can reach out to us if anything comes to mind, and not just wait for us to reach out to you. That make sense? Okay. Physically, are you doing fine otherwise? Okay. All right, we'll go back there. Thank you very much.
As night fell over Moscow, Idaho, investigators continued processing the crime scene inside the King Roadhouse. Detectives and forensic teams worked late into the night, collecting evidence from what authorities described as an extremely violent scene. Among the items recovered was a tan leather knife sheath discovered on a bed near two of the victims. According to court documents, DNA recovered from the sheath would later allegedly be linked to Bryan Kohberger through forensic testing and investigative genealogy techniques. Investigators believe the murders were carried out using a fixed-blade knife, possibly a K-bar-style weapon. However, despite extensive searches, the murder weapon itself has never been publicly recovered. The crime scene was described as extremely bloody. One photograph taken outside the home appeared to show what many believed were blood-like stains running down the exterior foundation of the house, though investigators never publicly confirmed details surrounding the image. Court documents would later reveal that investigators also discovered a latent shoe print inside the home, believed to have been left by the killer while moving through the house during the attacks. Piece by piece, detectives began reconstructing what happened inside the King Roadhouse during the early hours of November 13th. In the days following the murders, investigators remained focused on reconstructing the victims' final hours and identifying anyone who may have been near the King Roadhouse during the early morning of November 13th. Detectives conducted dozens of interviews with friends, students, neighbors, and people seen with the victims in the hours before the killings. At the same time, investigators began collecting surveillance footage from homes, businesses, and traffic cameras throughout Moscow, Idaho. As fear spread across the university campus, many students questioned whether a killer was still moving freely through the community. Behind the scenes, investigators were quietly building a timeline using cell phone records, digital evidence, and vehicle sightings gathered from across the area. Then, on December 7, 2022, nearly a month after the murders, police publicly revealed what would become the first major breakthrough in the investigation. Investigators announced they were searching for the occupants of a white Hyundai Elantra seen near the King Roadhouse during the early morning hours of the killings. According to investigators, surveillance footage appeared to show the vehicle circling the neighborhood several times before the murders, making multiple passes by the King Roadhouse in the darkness before eventually leaving the area. Police stated they believed the occupant or occupants of the vehicle may have had critical information related to the case. The announcement immediately triggered nationwide attention, as thousands of people across the country began searching for the vehicle that investigators believed could be connected to what happened that night. Following the public release of the white Hyundai Elantra surveillance images, the investigation intensified rapidly. Tips began flooding into investigators from across the country as people reported sightings of similar vehicles in neighborhoods, parking lots, college campuses, and highways nationwide. Behind the scenes, investigators were already working to trace white Hyundai Elantras registered throughout the surrounding states. One vehicle quickly drew attention. The car was registered to Bryan Kohberger, a graduate criminology student attending Washington State University in Pullman, Washington, located just a short drive from Moscow, Idaho. Investigators then began examining Kohberger's cell phone records and movements in the weeks leading up to the murders. According to court documents, cell phone data allegedly showed Kohberger's phone traveling near the King Road neighborhood multiple times before the killings took place. Investigators also alleged that during the estimated time of the murders, Kohberger's phone suddenly stopped reporting to the cellular network before reconnecting again later that morning south of Moscow. Combined with surveillance footage and vehicle tracking, investigators believed the evidence was beginning to point toward a possible suspect. As the investigation intensified behind the scenes, law enforcement quietly conducted surveillance while preparing to move in. Then, during the early morning hours of December 30th, 2022, officers arrived at a home in Pennsylvania to make an arrest. Following his arrest in Pennsylvania, Bryan Kohberger was taken into custody and later extradited back to Idaho to face multiple counts of first-degree murder. As news of the arrest spread across the country, new details from the investigation began emerging through court documents and media reports, offering the public its first real glimpse into how investigators believe the murders unfolded. The revelations shocked many. According to investigators, surveillance footage, cell phone data, witness statements, and forensic evidence had all allegedly combined to place Kohberger near the King Road house during the early morning hours of November 13th. Meanwhile, the University of Idaho community continued struggling to process the tragedy that had shaken the small college town only weeks earlier. Vigils were held for the victims as students and residents gathered to remember Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Chapin. As the case moved through the court system, prosecutors announced they would seek the death penalty if Kohberger was convicted at trial. For months, the case remained one of the most closely followed murder investigations in the country, with court hearings, evidence disputes, and legal arguments continuing behind the scenes. A trial was expected to begin in 2025. However, in July 2025, Bryan Kohberger formally pleaded guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary as part of a plea agreement with prosecutors. In exchange for the guilty plea, prosecutors agreed to remove the death penalty from consideration. The plea deal meant the case would never go to trial.
On burglary, felony, how do you plead, Mr. Kohberger, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
As to count 2, the murder of Madison Mogen, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
As to count 3, for the murder of Kaylee Goncalves, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
As to count 4, first-degree murder of Xana Kernodle, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
As to count 5, the first-degree murder of Chapin, a human being, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
During sentencing later that month, emotional victim impact statements were delivered by family members, friends, and surviving roommates as the court heard about the lasting trauma caused by the murders. Kohberger was sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, along with an additional sentence related to the burglary charge.
Defendant previously entered a plea of guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary. In exchange, the parties stipulated to recommend a sentence consisting of, on burglary, 10 years fixed, on each of the 4 counts of first-degree murder, life fixed. All right, so with that, let's start with then impact statements.
Your Honor, the first, and we're taking these in the order, victim impact statements in the order that the charges were listed in the indictment. The first charge being burglary, so we will have Bethany Funke's statement, and she has asked that her friend Emily Allant read that statement.
All right, any objection to that?
No objection.
All right, very well.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll be speaking on behalf of Bethany, and so, yeah, here it reads. My name is Bethany Funk, and I was roommates with Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. I not only lost some of my best friends, but I also lost a sister. Never in a million years would I have thought that something like this would have happened to my closest friends. I thought that we were going to wake up and go upstairs, see them and tell them how they had scared us and that they were going to tease us about how we are constantly scaredy cats. And make jokes about it as we would go to Taco Bell like always. But sadly, that is not what happened and what turned out to be my worst nightmare. When I first woke up that morning, I had no idea what happened. I woke up around 7 with a terrible toothache, so I called my dad, who is a dentist, and he asked what I should do. He told me to take Advil, so I did, and I went back to sleep. I was still out of it and still didn't know what happened. If I had known, I of course would have called 911 right away. I still carry so much regret and guilt for not knowing what had happened and not calling right away, even though I understand it wouldn't have changed anything, not even if the paramedics had been right outside the door. I was so frantic that morning and scared to death, not knowing what had happened. And when I made the 911 call, I couldn't even get out the words. And from then on, I don't remember a thing. It was like my brain wiped that whole memory. That was the worst day of my life. And I know it always will be. While I was still in shock, trying to process the fact that my friends were truly gone, I had been attacked by the public. I was grieving, numb, and unsure of what had happened was even real. And at the same time, I was getting flooded with death threats and hateful messages from people who did not know me at all or know the dynamic of our friendship. Social media made it so much worse, and strangers made up stories to entertain themselves. The media harassed not just me, but also my family. People showed up at our house. They called my phone, my parents' phones, other family members' phones, and we were chased while I was still trying to survive emotionally and grieve the loss of my friends. I hated and still hate that they are gone, but for some reason, I am still here and I got to live. I still think about this every day. Why me? Why did I get to live and not them? For the longest time, I could not even look at their families without feeling sick with guilt. I did not know what to say or what to do. I was terrified that my presence just made their pain worse, and I was still here when their kid, their siblings, and their friends, their loved ones should have been here instead. After everything happened, I was afraid to go into my own backyard or alone in my house. I was scared that the person who did this would come for me next. I was always scared that the media would try to catch me at any moment of any day, even when I was just walking around my house. I made my parents close all the blinds during the day so no one could see me even in the slightest chance. I barely left the house, and when I did, I made sure I was never alone. I slept in my parents' room for almost a year. I made them double lock every door, set an alarm, and still check everywhere in the room just in case someone was hiding. And I still check my room every night before, and I double lock it. I have not slept through a single night since this happened. I constantly wake up in panics, terrified. Someone is breaking in, or someone is here to hurt me, or I'm about to lose someone else that I love. The fear never really leaves. For a long time, I could barely get out of bed. But one day I realized I have to live for them. They did not get the chance to keep living, but I do, and I will not take that for granted. So now every day I remind myself to live for them, and everything I do it with them in mind. I am still scared to go out in public, but I force myself to do things because I know that they would want me to keep living my life to the fullest. I am beyond blessed to still be here, and I refuse to take that for granted when they did not get a chance. Our house was not just a house, it was a home. It was where we laughed till we couldn't breathe, make meals, did crafts, binge watch reality shows, played games, and spent lazy days on the couch. It was movie nights, wine nights, morning debriefs, pranks, hot chocolate, cookies, and warmth. I will cherish those memories forever, and I will not let what happened erase how special our home was or how much those memories meant to me. Now I would like to share some bits and pieces of who they were as people and some of the memories that we shared. One of my favorite memories was Halloween, and we all went to Sigma Chi. But instead of partying, we just sat in an apartment, talking and laughing all night long. I do not think I've ever laughed that hard in my life. We did not care about the party, we were just happy to be with each other. Xana was 1 in a million. She was the life of the party. but she was also the kindest and funniest person I knew. Everyone loved her because she made everyone feel so loved. She was just someone you always wanted to be around, no matter the circumstance. One of my favorite days with Xana was when she laid on the couch, when we laid on the couch together all day watching movies and snacking. Or when she, Maddie, and I would go and get margaritas, chips, and salsa. She would also light up a room with her presence alone. Kaylee had the most beautiful, radiant smile. And she was so kind, but also one of the funniest people I've ever known. She loved playing little pranks. And she always had us laughing so hard that we could not breathe. She was so full of energy and life. I really believe that she could have ruled the world if she wanted to, and she would have been America's sweetheart. Ethan was the sweetest, most genuine guy. He was always smiling and always making other people smile too. Ethan was the kind of person you wanted around. He was so kind and easy to talk to, and just so fun. And the way he cared for Xana was truly something to admire. And really was proof that storybook love and true romances really do exist. It was not only obvious to me, but everyone that was around Ethan and Xana that they were absolute soulmates. Maddie was not only one of my best friends, but she was the older sister I would have always wanted. There was no one I looked up to or admired more than Maddie. She was truly a ray of sunshine, and everyone was drawn to her. She was so kind, loving, funny, fun, and passionate. She had the sweetest soul and wanted nothing but the best for everyone, and to love and show love to everyone. She took me under her wing and always made me feel so safe and included, and above all, loved and valued. She never failed to make me laugh or put a smile on my face. Still to this day, I am beyond grateful that she chose me to be her sorority little, and I thank God every day that I not only got to know her, but had her as one of my best friends. Honestly, I cannot pinpoint one favorite memory with Maddie because I have so many, and this would be a very long read if I did. But if some little memories with her that I cherish is when the two of us made a nice dinner and split some wine, or when we would binge watch Jersey Shore or Summer House. When we came up with a whole dance routine on Halloween and danced and sang all night, like no one was watching. All the late night walks home from going out, and just little shopping trips and so much more. I am beyond blessed that I had the chance to know each and every one of them. They changed my life in ways I would have never put into words. I hope that they are remembered for who they are, not what happened to them, because who they are were so beautiful, and they deserve to be remembered in the highest way. My heart breaks every time I go to text one of them or how badly I wish I could see and hang out with them. And then I remember I cannot. I will never be able to again. But I still talk to them in my prayers every single night, and I always will. I wish more than anything I could hug them one last time. And I wish I could tell them how much I love them. And even though I cannot, I still tell them every night. I will keep living for them as long as I am lucky enough to still be here. And they were all truly one of a kind, and they will be in our hearts forever and always.
Thank you, and please convey to Bethany my appreciation for her courage, and I hope that she heals.
We are here to prove to the world that you picked the wrong families. The wrong state, the wrong police officers, the wrong community. You tried to break our community apart. You tried to plant fear. You tried to divide us. You failed. Instead, your actions have united everyone in their disgust for you.
Start this morning by acknowledging and thanking those that have come here today in support of their loved ones. And I appreciate your courage and your strength. And I hope that you are able to move on as best as possible. Thank counsel for the professionalism that they've exhibited throughout this case. It has been my great honor to preside in this case and to help bring, to the extent possible, some resolution and hopefully justice to this case. During the quiet morning hours of November 13, 2022, a faceless coward breached the tranquility of 6 beautiful young people and senselessly slaughtered them, 4 of them. Who committed this unspeakable evil was unknown for several weeks, but due to the killer's incompetence and outstanding police work by numerous local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies, the person that slithered through that sliding glass door at 1122 King Road now stands before the world and this court unmasked. This unfathomable and senseless act of evil has caused immeasurable pain and loss. No parent should ever have to bury their child. This is the greatest tragedy that can be inflicted upon a person. Parents who took their children to college in a truck filled with moving boxes had to bring them home in hearses lined with coffins. The loss this killer inflicted was not just the death of these people's children, siblings, grandchildren, as we've heard today. It has ripped a hole in their soul, destroying a special part of their very essence. Any person who is a parent defines themselves foremost as such. It is their existence and purpose of being. And it has been stolen from these parents. None of us have experienced the loss these victims have in the unspeakable way that they have. And therefore, none of us can, nor should we, question the way in which they have handled their loss. Whether that be in private mourning, removed as far as possible from this media circus, or in front of a camera demanding retribution with the loudest megaphone. I've listened intently to the stories and pain that have been shared today, with great awe at the courage and resilience of the surviving family members of those wonderful children. I've listened also to the surviving roommates, both in person and through their friends. And I can't think of how, frankly, courageous they have been despite the hell that they have faced by uncaring people who have come up with all kinds of crazy theories about 2 kids simply being kids. The parents, siblings, and other family members who have spoken today are designated as victims in our legal system. But going forward, I hope that they can shed that label, as it gives too much power to the evil that condemned them to that role. They are and should be known as survivors, fighters, and foremost as witnesses to the tremendous lives of value and unbounded promise of these 4 young people. But those speaking today and those who did not speak, but who carry the same burden, this same loss, now carry forward the memories of these now perpetually young people, these forever children. These survivors carry the responsibility of ensuring that the voices of these children, Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan, are never forgotten, and the positive impacts that they have had on so many lives are never minimized, and that the love they shared, the light that they shined onto others is forever celebrated. As we sit here today, this case is ending, and we are now certain who committed these unspeakable acts of evil, but we don't know, and what we may never know is why. I share the desire expressed by others to understand the why. But upon reflection, it seems to me, and this is just my own opinion, that by continuing to focus on why, we continue to give Mr. Kohberger relevance. We give him agency and we give him power. The need to know what is inherently not understandable makes us dependent upon the defendant to provide us with a reason, and that gives him the spotlight, the attention, and the power he appears to crave. Yet even if I could force him to speak, which legally I cannot, how could anyone ever be assured that what he speaks is the truth? Do we really believe, after all of this, he's capable of speaking the truth or of giving up something of himself to help the very people whose lives he destroyed? Rather, I suspect the so-called reason would be dished out in enticing, self-serving, and aggrandizing, untruthful bits, leaving people wanting more information, more insight, and thus enhancing even further the power he seeks to hold. Even if we could get truthful insight into his why, I suspect it would not in any way quench one's thirst for actually understanding why in the first instance. Because there is no reason for these crimes that could approach anything resembling rationality. No conceivable reason could make any sense. And in the end, the more we struggle to seek explanation for the unexplainable, the more we try to extract a reason, the more power and control we give to him. In my view, the time has now come to end Mr. Kohberger's 15 minutes of fame. It's time that he be consigned to the ignominy and isolation of perpetual incarceration. I know there has been concern about him collaborating on books or movies or other media projects, and I truly hope that someone does not stoop to affording him this spotlight that he desires in the name of clicks, royalties, or profits. While criminal behavioralists should study him away from the spotlight in an attempt to prevent other would-be killers from acting on their worst impulses, there should be no need for that to spill over into the public eye. The great Idaho jurist Edward Lodge was known for trying to find something positive about every person he ever sentenced. And with over a half a century as a trial judge, that was a lot of people. This was often challenging, and I recall in one case he said that the best he could come up with was the defendant had good penmanship. Truth be told, I'm unable to come up with anything redeeming about Mr. Kohberger because his grotesque acts of evil have buried and hidden anything that might have been good or intrinsically human about him. His actions have made him the worst of the worst. Even in pleading guilty, he is giving nothing hinting of remorse or redemption, nothing suggesting even a recognition or understanding, let alone regret for the pain that he has caused. And therefore, I will not attempt to speak about him further, other than to simply sentence him so that he is forever removed from civilized society. And accordingly, based upon his conduct and based upon the record before this court, recognizing the standards that govern this court's sentencing decisions as set forth in State v. Toohill, I hereby sentence Mr. Kohberger as follows. On count 1, burglary, 10 years fixed, 0 years indeterminate. I also impose a fine of $50,000. Count 2, first-degree murder of Madison Mogen. I sentence the defendant to a fixed term of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, a fine of $50,000, and a civil penalty of $5,000 payable to the family of the victim. On count 3, for first-degree murder of Kaylee Goncalves, I sentence the defendant to a fixed term of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, a fine of $50,000, and a civil penalty of $5,000 payable to the victim of the family, or to the family of the victim, pardon me. On count 4, for the first-degree murder of Xana Kernodle, I sentence the defendant to a fixed term of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, a fine of $50,000, and a civil penalty of $5,000 payable to the family of the victim. On count 5, for the first-degree murder of Chapin, I sentence the defendant to a fixed term of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, a fine of $50,000, and a civil penalty of $5,000 payable to the family of the victim. The sentences on counts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 shall run consecutively to one another. Restitution will be left open for 60 days. Defendant will be required to submit a DNA sample and a right thumbprint impression to the Department of Corrections and comply with the DNA Database Act. I remand the defendant to the custody of the Idaho State Board of Corrections for to be imprisoned in an appropriate facility and execution of the sentence where he will remain until he dies. Though you have waived your right to appeal, you do have a right to file a notice of appeal, and any such appeal must be filed within 42 days of the date of the written judgment, which will be entered shortly hereafter. Though the appeal, you should be aware, may be deemed a violation of the plea agreement, and so I certainly suggest you discuss that with counsel if that is your desire. I ask the media and public present to allow the families to be escorted out first before they leave. Again, thank you to everyone for your stories today. I am strengthened by them, and I am encouraged by your humanity and strength, and God bless you. We're adjourned.
But despite the guilty plea, investigators have never publicly confirmed a motive for the killings, and the murder weapon believed to have been used that night has never been recovered. Even now, the events that unfolded inside the King Road house during the early morning hours of November 13th continue to haunt investigators, the victims' families, and a nation that followed the case from the very beginning. Because after everything uncovered during the investigation, one question still remains. Why? Our thoughts and deepest condolences remain with the families, friends, and loved ones of Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, whose lives were tragically taken far too soon. No documentary can truly capture the pain left behind by a tragedy like this, nor the lasting impact it continues to have on everyone affected by the events of November 13th, 2022. This video was created to document the timeline of the case and the investigation that followed, while remembering the 4 young lives at the center of it all. Thank you for watching. If you found this documentary informative, please consider subscribing for more in-depth true crime and documentary content. And as always, stay safe.